Well, I'm Ann Buck, and I live in Dallas, Texas. So I'm just glad to be able to have an opportunity to share a little bit about my story. I hope it helps and inspires somebody. I hope it gives somebody hope. In my particular case, everything that could go wrong went wrong in the beginning of my diagnosis. But then after that, everything that could go right has gone right. So as I tell my story, I really want to convey that, especially just to give people hope when they get that initial diagnosis, or when they first hear those words, you have cancer. Now, for me, my story began in 2007. I was dusting in my dining room, and suddenly I just felt a lot of itching in one of my breasts, but I didn't feel itching in the other breast. And I thought that was a little unusual. So I called my gynecologist and asked if I could come right in. And he said yes. And he kind of poked around and felt hard lumps. And I had always had fibrocystic tumors, and it's always been kind of lumpy. So I really wasn't too concerned with it. But I had not had a mammogram the last 2 years. I got really busy, was publishing some work, and I just kind of put it on the back burner. Well, when I went in there and he started feeling around, he suspected that I had cancer. He sent me across the street to have a radiologist look at it, and it kind of lit up like a Christmas tree. And so that following Monday, that was a Friday, the following Monday, I had a biopsy, and sure enough, it proved to be what they call ductal carcinoma in situ, which is DCIS. And this is a kind of breast cancer that is supposedly contained in the milk ducts. And it's an aggressive kind. Mine was an aggressive kind. It was a high-grade cancer, but it was 9 centimeters of it. So they did say that I had to have a mastectomy. And when they first told me that I had cancer, I wasn't really that concerned, because they did say it was contained. And when they took my breast, they said that they looked at the sentinel node and it was clear. And they said how lucky I was that it did not travel into any other lymph nodes. So I was technically stage 0, and that they got it all. So I really thought I was done with cancer. I was also, so I thought I was done with cancer. And at the time I was on the standard American diet, kind of eating a lot of junk food. I had spent many years as a flight attendant in recent years before that. And so I had a very stressful job, grabbing food off the airplane, junk food here and there, and gobbling down, and not, just a really high stress life. So, but I really didn't think that I would ever have cancer again. So 2 years later, I had to go back. Let me back up. I had to go back and get a scan about every 3 months just to make sure all was well. So meanwhile, my doctor at that time retired, and then I got a new doctor. And my pathology report, remember I told you that they said they got it all. The pathology report indicated no invasion. So then I got a new doctor who stepped in and looked at my file and saw that report. And then when I had a subsequent scan, there was a lymph node that was enlarged, and it looked suspicious. But my doctor chose not to biopsy it because the initial path report that he saw said no invasion. So another 3 months went by, and I still thought I was cancer-free, and I came back in, and they scanned me again, and that lymph node was still enlarged. But he said, again, cancer grows. It's not really growing. It's not growing at all, actually. And your report showed no invasion, so we'll keep an eye on it. So I said, okay, great.